Fear. My arch nemesis, who was relentless in trying to keep my wrist from writing this. I've studied fear, intensely examined it. Like an insect, I pinned it to a corkboard, explored its exoskeleton. I inspected and then dissected this specimen and tested the cells in its blood to see what it's made of. Fear. The emotion that ranges from jittery nervousness, like the feeling of a child about to take a test, to fierce terror, like my girl Sarah felt when she turned around in the bathroom and saw the barrel of a gun in the hands of her husband, who feared he just couldn't trust her anymore. What are your fears? What terrifies you? I'm not talking about what climbs through the cracks in the wall and scuttles across the floor. And I'm not so much thinking about what stings you, what barks or flies or slithers. I'm looking for bigger triggers. As you sit here, do you fear the very thoughts in others' heads? That dreaded three-letter beast of a word, too. T-O-O. Are you scared that you're too young or too old, too skinny or too fat, too white or too black, too unattractive? Fear says you might as well go back home before they discover that you don't really belong. You're talentless, too inexperienced, too full of sin. How did they let in such an imposter? You see, fear is a monster, a trickster who'll whisper venomous lies disguised as truth. He's the one who's been smooth-talking me since my youth, saying my dreams would do better filling in clown shoes at the circus. At least then when the curtain opens, the audience is expected to laugh. Live, laugh, love. Maybe your biggest fear has to do with that last one. Who are you refusing to open your heart to? You're so afraid of losing that part of you that you pushed your heart down the basement steps. You're holding it hostage with gauze and bandages to keep it safe, but you're forgetting you were made to love. And to be too afraid to love is like the earth being too anxious to twist and rotate on its axis lest it slip and fall into the black abyss. Which is ridiculous when you know God has this planet suspended on his necklace. We're his little green emerald that he's protecting. But maybe you're like me, and fear's fangs are so deep in your skin that it's pierced the vein, and the blood of your faith is draining. You're questioning, if I can't see him, how do I know what I read of him in the scriptures isn't fiction, and that the cross wasn't the act of a magician, that my relationship with him isn't just imagined, and that Christianity isn't going to one day go out of fashion and leave me holding an empty bag. Child of God, check the receipt. Go ahead and peek inside the shopping bag for proof that God is true. You'll see a real pool of blood with the word "for" followed by your name swirled in it. And you'll find the clouds, moon, sun, and stars dancing in a little shard of sky, declaring the glory of the Most High. And in this bag, you'll see a glass bottle containing a ship on a sea that was once raging uncontrollably, but now that storm is sitting on a leash that Jesus is holding. His disciples had a right to be terrified that the waves would swallow them, but Jesus said, if you're going to follow me, the one whose miracles perform miracles, then, oh ye of little faith, you ought not be fearful. Faith is the only potent antidote to fear. Faith is the only potent antidote to fear. My arch nemesis, who was relentless in trying to keep my wrist from writing this. I've studied fear, intensely examined it. Like an insect, I pinned it to a corkboard, explored its exoskeleton. I inspected and then dissected this specimen and tested the cells in its blood to see what it's made of. The verdict? Empty, hollow nothingness, not an ounce of substance. Fear has no matter, and therefore it does not matter. So when you feel your heart start to beat faster as fear creeps in, unleash your faith and tell that beast of Satan to fall back, fade to black, and fear will cower. That is fact.